U.S. Attorney Standoff. Desiree Leigh Grace vows to take office despite firing. A standoff is brewing over who will replace Alina Habba as U.S. Attorney in New Jersey, with her interim appointment set to expire Friday. Desiree Leigh Grace, a top prosecutor fired by the Justice Department, is vowing to take over the job in accordance with the law. To do so, Grace would have to be sworn in by a federal judge just after midnight Friday, when Habba ceases to be U.S. Attorney, and defy Attorney General Pam Bondi, who ousted her from her job as New Jersey's first assistant U.S. Attorney. The Justice Department hasn't said what it plans to do with the position, other than Bondi and Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, decrying the appointment of Grace and accusing the judges of political motivations and attempting to usurp President Donald Trump's appointment powers. If Grace assumes the job, the president could fire her. The department could still outmaneuver the judges by having Habba leave before midnight Friday and appointing a new interim U.S. Attorney, a move they've used in other cases. Grace posted a lengthy message Wednesday on LinkedIn, thanking colleagues and pushing back that politics played any part in how she did her job. She ended her post with a defiant vow to take over the job she was appointed to by the judges. Trump withdraws Alina Habba's nomination. What's next for New Jersey's U.S. Attorney? In a bold move that's sparking debate over presidential power versus judicial authority, Donald Trump has abruptly pulled Alina Habba's nomination for New Jersey's top federal prosecutor role. This legal maneuver clears the path for Habba to continue serving as the acting U.S. Attorney in an unprecedented twist, a decision that's intensified tensions with federal judges who tried to replace her. The saga began when New Jersey's federal court opted to install Desiree Leigh Grace, Habba's deputy, to lead the state's U.S. Attorney office as Habba's 120-day interim term neared expiration. But in a direct challenge, Attorney General Pam Bondi declared Grace had been removed from her role and lashed out at the judges for defying the president's core Article 2 powers. Here's the kicker. Federal law typically restricts acting officials from holding roles if their Senate nomination is pending. By withdrawing Habba's nomination, Trump sidestepped this restriction, allowing her to shift into an acting capacity, a strategy legal experts describe as a loophole in the Vacancies Act. This 270-day law, 5 U.S.C. Section 3345, usually limits acting positions. But Habba's resignation as interim U.S. Attorney and immediate reappointment under Bondi let her bypass these limits. This is textbook Vacancies Act maneuvering, notes constitutional law expert Thomas Berry. At the heart of the conflict, who holds ultimate authority over U.S. attorney appointments? Well, federal statute 28 U.S.C. Section 446 grants courts the rare power to appoint interim U.S. attorneys after 120 days of vacancy. A 1979 Justice Department opinion argues the president retains removal authority. Bondi insists Trump's power overrides judicial actions, declaring this backroom vote will not override the authority of the chief executive. Habba, a former Trump defense attorney in civil fraud cases, has faced criticism for lacking prosecutorial experience. Yet supporters argue her loyalty and unconventional approach could serve the state well. Sometimes putting someone new in office forces us to rethink assumptions, says Armin Morion, a colleague from Trump's fraud case defense. The drama doesn't end there. Grace initially embraced the court's offer, calling it the greatest honor to lead on merit. However, her LinkedIn post received praise from law enforcement officials like Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, highlighting her deep state ties. Meanwhile, Habba assures followers she's now acting U.S. Attorney, signaling plans to contest any challenges to her authority. The political battle's bigger picture? New Jersey's two Democratic senators, Cory Booker and Andy Kim, opposed Habba's nomination via the Senate's blue slip tradition. This policy requires home state senators to approve judicial and U.S. attorney nominees, a hurdle Trump circumvented by labeling Habba acting rather than seeking full Senate confirmation. As the legal chess game continues, one question remains. Will courts ultimately rule for presidential authority or judicial oversight? The clash highlights an ongoing debate about checks and balances in federal appointments. Where do you stand? Share your thoughts below.